What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Animation Revaluation Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lizer, and with me is Celeste. What's up, Celeste?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Celeste.
Hey!
Oh, I hit myself. I did hand motions, but I don't know why, because nobody can see me.
I do it all the time too, and I'm scared I'm gonna hit my mic.
I didn't hit my mic. I hit the freaking wall.
Oh, man. I just want to, real quick, before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of the podcast, um,
Hmm.
last week we watched A Place Further Than the Universe. You hadn't actually finished it by the time we did the podcast, but you continued after we finished, and I got to see some, live reactions to everything. Do you want to fill the good people in on anything?
I cried a lot. That's it.
Okay, so
I
what are
cried a
we
lot.
what are we talking about this week then?
I mean, if I don't know if the audience want to hear my live action responses. I'm trying to see if I can find them.
Oh, no, I just wanted to let them know that it wasn't just me that cried. Like you got hit with the emotions too. I just want the
Yeah,
confirmation of that.
I'm looking back and all I'm seeing is crying emoji.
Yep. But go ahead and introduce what we watched this week.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. So this week I had the pleasure of picking the anime and I picked, I know I'm gonna butcher this, Hanasaku Iroha. And what this anime is about, like literally it's short and to the point. It's about the main character Ohana who lives in Tokyo, and due to some circumstances that she has no control over, she ends up moving to, I don't exactly remember where she moves to, but she ends up moving to, like, I guess like the suburbs, question mark, like the
Yeah, like
outskirt.
like a off country outskirt type of thing.
Yeah, with her grandma who owns the inn, and it's basically the whole anime is about her life, her new life at the inn.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really excited to know what you thought about it. Oh, that's her grandma,
Yeah.
Sui.
Yeah.
But
Sui.
they call her Madam Manager.
Yeah, she's very strict. She doesn't allow family members to call her mom or grandma or anything. You have to call her Madam Manager when you're on the premises of the inn. But even when, like, the few times that she herself goes off the grounds and they're elsewhere, it's still strictly Madam Manager.
Madam Manager.
Um yeah, that's basically a basic summary of it. Like, this is one of those anime where, like, not much happens, yet a lot happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to explain everything because you
Like
feel
so
like
much
nothing
happened.
happened because it's just like regular things, but then
It,
you can actually go into detail for a while at the same time.
uh-huh.
It's paradoxical.
So it's everyday life and what happens during everyday life.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason she actually had to go to the inn with her grandmother is because her mother is uh what's a kind way to describe her mother?
Her like her mom's, it's really hard to explain because like her mom is very
Very
like
free.
she's very free spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, that is honestly like one of the kindest things we can say.
Yeah.
She is very free spirit, and I mean like free spirit where Ohana, her daughter, has to take care of her.
Yeah, so she drinks, she does nothing but work and
Work.
then mess with guys. Uh Ohana takes care of everything in the house. She does all the cooking, all the cleaning. scheduling for her mother to go to work, waking her up, all that kind of stuff. So she seems very much like
The
not a good
parent.
parent, you
No,
know?
no, no. Ohana seems like the parent, and the mom seems like the child.
Yeah. Um, so what actually happens in the first episode, like our basic introduction to the mother is her boyfriend uh decided to put down some loans, but like in their name with hers and
Their
Ohana's address.
address.
So debt collectors are gonna come looking for them, so they have to leave. Ohana's like, okay, so where are we gonna go? We're gonna go to the north. I want to go to the north. And she's like, no, we're leaving. You gotta go somewhere else. And just like ditches her daughter to go with the grandmother. So great mom.
Mom of the Year award goes to. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember the mom's name. I can't remember her mom's name.
Oh, Satsuki.
Satsuki. Oh yeah, Satsuki.
Yeah. Um. So for the most part, Ohana's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go somewhere else. No problem. She just kind of goes with the flow, and I mean, when you have a relationship like this with this kind of parent, it's probably something she's used to. So she has a childhood friend. Um.
Named Koichi.
Yeah. Or just
Like,
Ko.
or Kochan.
Yeah. And when he hears that she's leaving, this is when he decides he's going to confess his feelings to her. And it's I don't know if it's like she didn't reciprocate them at first or she was just shocked, but she doesn't give him an answer and he ends up running away.
Well, he doesn't give her time to give him an answer. He just takes off.
Yeah, exactly. And we get to see the evolution throughout the show of him. Like when we first see him, he runs away. Like he's a coward. He doesn't even wait for an answer. And then we see him go from that to someone who seeks out the answer to someone who's ready to move on and do their own thing. Like we see him get stronger in these like the anime only takes place over 6 months.
Yeah.
So we I think honestly he's probably the one we see the most change in.
Out of
and
everybody, he
he's
gets
and he's
character
not even he's
development.
not even a main character.
He's not the main character, and they hardly show him.
He's in like 6 episodes, maybe.
Maybe, and if he's in an episode, he's probably in there for like what, a total of like 8 minutes.
Yeah. Um. So he doesn't get his answer. He runs away. Ohana has to take the train to whatever like country section of Japan that she's going to, because again we can't remember. And she
Okay.
comes across the inn that she's going to be staying at. The how do you even pronounce it?
Oh my gosh. I'm
Kisuiso.
Kois-
Kisiso.
Koisu? Koisi? I don't.
Whatever it is. It's a
Koisi.
very beautiful like old inn.
Kisui. So I know it. Anyways,
Kisiso.
go. Kisis. No. Kisui. Because when a U and the I is together, I feel like it's like we. You know, like
It's yeah, but it's
Kisui
kiss
so.
sui so.
Kisui so, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and she meets her grandmother for the first time because her mother and grandmother do not get along. The mother ran away as a child, had a child, and just never bothered with each other.
Uh-huh.
She's expecting a warm welcome. Instead, she's told, "You're not gonna stay here for free. You're gonna work. If you fuck up, you gotta pay for it out of your paycheck. You're expected to go to school and work at the same time, and like just all this stuff." And you see that the grandmother is actually very strict, no nonsense, and that's where we get the whole like don't call me grandma, call me madam manager. um we also get to meet her uncle Enishi.
And she.
Enishi.
I thought it was. I could have sworn they pronounced it Enchi. Inishi. I don't know. Anyway, go on.
And he I was a little weirded out at first because his first thing was like he checked her out and was like, "Oh, you're my niece, huh?" And he's like looking at her ass and stuff.
Well,
And
he falls on her.
yeah, but then
Uh,
like he's like, "Oh, you're my niece," and then he continues to check her out, and I was like, "Well, this is weird." And he's like, "I'm gonna take out my frustration on you," and I was like, "That is fucking creepy." But we get to meet him, and they have two girls around the same age as Ohana working at the inn, and that would be the assistant cook Minko, or Minchi, who is she wants to be a chef. She has a huge crush on the assistant chef, Toru, which I'll show later, and she's kind of like aggressive and hot-headed.
She's aggressive and hot headed, like especially towards Ohana because she had planted a vegetable garden,
Yeah,
and Ohana mistaken them for weeds, and so Ohana was like, "Well, I can't let this in be looking like a dump." So she ends up pulling them out, and so that's when Minchi sees her doing that, and it's like is pissed off because she that was her vegetable garden that she was pulling out.
yeah. Um, and then we also see uh, Nako,
Nako, Nako.
and she's like quiet, shy, just wants to do her job and be done with it. When she's at the end, she has like social anxiety, but we also get to see later on when she's at home, and she's actually very lively, very active. She does her parents' job when her parents don't want to do their job, takes care of her siblings. So it's like she has like a dual personality almost, you could say.
Hmm. But it's not one of those like creepy dual
No,
personalities.
no, not like that. Like she's not like a yandere or anything. It's just she has social anxiety. She's very unconfident with not confident with herself in
And
public.
then we yeah, and then we find out that the reason why she took up this job at the end was to change herself.
Yeah,
Like she wants to be outgoing. She doesn't want to be shy.
yeah. Then is the assistant chef Toru, who is smart mouth, uh, can do attitude.
Oh, we should have just took the whole like explanation that Minchi does.
Oh, what is it?
It was sharp tongue,
Yeah,
sharp tongue,
hair this long, eyes slanted.
but but is actually really kind.
Yeah, she gives someone a description of a guy she likes and just basically describes Toru. um, and there's one more person. Oh, Tomoe. She is the
Tomoe.
head waitress. And how would you describe her?
She is very I don't know, like um I'm trying to think of that
Strong-willed.
word. She's strong-willed and she is determined,
Yeah.
and she beats to her own drum. But she's not like aloof, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
Like when I like she like she's at an age where she's supposed to go find a man and get married, but she doesn't want that right now. What she wants to do is she wants to continue being her own person and continue working at the end. So that's why I say she beats to her own drum. Because her mom wants her to get married, and all her friends are getting married, but she isn't the case. Like she does, but she wants to let that happen when it happens.
Mm. Like she's not actively looking, but if it
Yeah,
came across, she would take it.
she would take it. Yeah,
Uh, and was it just me, or did she have like a bunch of like love letters mailed to her in her mailbox and stuff? Or did I see that wrong?
I felt like it was like a lot of because I know like I watch a lot of anime where they have this thing, like they always have the episode where it's like you got to find a husband or you got to find a wife. Here's like potential
Oh yeah, like the
candidate.
candidates, yeah.
That's what I thought. Like there were like letters of potential candidates for her to go meet up.
Because when I saw her like open up the mailbox and it comes spilling out, it reminded me of an episode where they like of an anime where they have the Valentine's Day episode, and they go to their foot locker, their shoe locker in school, and all the letters come falling out, and the girls are like, "Oh, Kya."
No,
So
I felt like those were candidates her mom was sending her.
it's bills that are past due. She just spends all her money on alcohol. um, so the 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 girls start to get used to each other. They all go to school together, and at the school is a another girl in their same age. I don't even know if she's in the same class or she's just the same grade.
She's a, she's in the same class as Ohana and Minchi.
Okay, and that's Yuna, Yuina,
Yuina, Yuina,
and she's
Yuina.
actually the granddaughter of someone at another inn nearby,
In.
and she's the eventual successor. And it's like a parallel between her and Hana, because she was born and raised in this world knowing that she's going to be the successor, and she doesn't want it. Hana had no idea that this thing existed until she got there, and throughout the series learns to have it be her dream to eventually run it.
Hmm.
I thought that was a cool thing. And she's just, your basic rich girl who has gotten everything she wanted and is just kind of
She wants
aloof and
more.
just, yeah, she just wants to have
She
fun.
wants more. She wants more in life than what she has now.
And
But
finally, oh, okay.
she's not a bad character. She's a good friend to them.
No, yeah, absolutely. There's never a time where she's like flaunting her money or anything like that, which
There's
they
like
could have
even a time.
easily done.
Yeah, there's actually a time where she decides not to take the car anymore and she starts walking to the train station with them.
Yeah, like she'll even on days where she is taking the car and she sees them, she's like, okay, I'll stop here and come out and go with them.
Yeah.
Um, and but then there's one more character I want to talk about, and that's Takako. And let me get a picture of Takako up here. Let's see, there she is.
Don't confuse her for Takako from the last anime we just watched.
Yeah, this is Takako. Good old Takako. She is. she
Very
is.
determined.
Yeah, she's supposed
She
to be
likes
the
it.
advisor for the manager, not the grandma, but the uncle.
Uncle, which he's also known as the young
Yeah,
master.
young master. And apparently he's known her since college. He's been in love with her since then. Uh, Throughout the series, like they made it seem like she's kind of using this as like her stepping stone for success, and she doesn't actually want anything to do with the inn. That it's kind of a nuisance, and nobody really wants her there. And then suddenly they're getting married. I'm like, huh? Excuse me?
They love each other that much.
Yeah, without ever showing it.
Without ever showing it.
Like he chases after her all day, and she does not give him the time of the day. She will ignore him, take calls, flip him
But
off,
it
smack
is
him.
it is funny because I think he has a preference because of the women in his family because they're
Yeah,
like that.
she is pretty much exactly the same as his sister, except not as you know aloof with responsibility.
Like she's actually responsible.
Yeah. So basically, his sister, if she would have stayed and taken over the hotel,
Hmm.
and they actually make that connection a couple times. But I just wanted to talk about that about how literally one episode she's smacking the shit out of him
And
and
then the
blaming
next,
him for the loss of all their money, and then the next episode they're planning their wedding, and I'm like, excuse me?
it came out of nowhere. It came out of left field.
Yeah, and it even went from like nobody in the inn likes her to everyone is accepting of her. She's so beautiful. Oh my god. And then it goes right back to she's a nuisance.
She's a nuisance. Get her out of here.
Yeah. Like she takes a train ride with Ohana back to Tokyo, and Ohana's like, I am not used to speaking to old ladies. It's like, what?
But then she ends up getting respect for her at the end of the
Oh
episode.
yeah, yeah. Everyone learns to love everyone else in this show.
So my thing is, what'd you think about it?
What did I think about it? Well, I finished the whole season. That's for one.
There was a miscommunication. Liza, Liza thought I said for us to watch the whole anime when I said I was probably gonna watch the whole anime and the movie.
So
And
I
then
watched the
Liza,
whole anime.
which was funny because I was when I went back on the app, like because like it will show me like what episodes has been seen, and so like let's say if I'm like ahead, and then I see you like watching it, like kind of like takes over.
Uh-huh.
And so then I saw like you're on episode, like when I finally like looked at the app to continue, I saw that you're like on episode 12, and I was like, wait a minute, why is he watching more than the 5 episodes? I was like, and I was like, did he like it? No, turns out he thought we were watching the whole thing.
There was things I had to do that I put aside to watch this anime.
Oops.
I mean, I would have been mad if it was a bad anime, and it's not a bad anime. Now, I wouldn't say I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Huh.
It was more like, I mean, I did enjoy it. It's definitely not one of my favorites. It's not something that I would have chosen to watch myself.
Mhm.
It's like, it's just something to watch. It's something that I can tolerate. It doesn't, you know, it keeps me interested at like the bare minimum of my interest levels. Where like I want to know what happens next, so I'm going to keep watching. But it's definitely not like I need to make sure I watch this next week when the new episode comes out. It's not like that level. If I
I enjoyed this anime.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. If I had to give it a rating, I'd say like maybe a 6 out of 10.
We're doing tens now.
It's harder to do it on five. What do I like? 3 out of 5 sounds really bad.
Not really.
To me, it does. All right,
If it's out of
three
five,
out of five then.
hey, you like it more than half. That's good.
Maybe even a 4.
Hey, so like a 3.5.
Yeah, like if it would have continued on and done like here they are a couple years later type of thing, it probably would have been a 4 for me.
And see, it was funny because like when I was rewatching the anime, I even told Lizer like, "Holy shit! Like I don't remember any of this." I thought, and I boosted on the last episode. It's like, yeah, it's one of those animes where like I remember everything and like the characters, and I rewatched it. And I was like, "Holy shit! What the fuck am I what am I watching?"
I,
Like I legit forgot because, like I said, I watched this like years ago,
mm-hmm.
and so and I never watched it again. I just watched that one time, but like I said, like it left an like I said, I thought it left an impression where like it was so good that I remember everything.
You also compared it to what we watched last week, which was a
which was
very emotional show.
which I could have sworn I cried. No cry. I didn't cry at all when I rewatched this. But like I said, like I could have sworn like I cried last. I probably did cry last time because I like younger me like doesn't know shit.
Uh-huh.
So
So I will admit, I did have a single tear moment during the
oh
final episode, but it
oh
wasn't because of what happened in the episode. It was from misdirection.
oh what was it?
Because, spoiler alert, they decide to close down the inn at the end of the season. Not permanently, just for an undisclosed amount of time until they're able to feel like they actually deserve to have it open with the new management of the young master and his wife.
His new wife.
So everyone goes their own ways. They find new jobs elsewhere and everything. And we actually see the grandmother looking through the empty inn and going through all the rooms and everything. And at the stairs, she gets a vision of her deceased husband when they were young. And the hotel is actually named after her. And he made the hotel to please her because he said, when she's pleased, he's pleased.
Mm-hmm.
and it was all dedicated to her. And she's been having health problems throughout the show. And she has this moment where she sees him, and in my head, I'm like, oh, that's like his spirit. You know, he's connected to this place. And she takes like two hesitant steps towards him, and I just like a tear came down. I'm like, they're gonna fucking kill her in the last episode. She's gonna die right now, and she doesn't. I was like, oh, thank God.
You're like, but you're like, fuck you for messing with my emotions.
Yeah, because like that's what I would have done, honestly.
No, she's alive, guys.
Yeah. Thankfully, she's alive.
Sui lives.
I also started watching the movie because I thought the movie would be that, you know, here's them this many years later. But it turns out the movie is actually just a side story.
Taking place within the story plot of
Yeah.
the anime.
But we get to see the
Like,
mom when she's younger. So that's cool.
you see the mom when she's younger too in the anime.
Yeah, but more of it. Oh, yeah, she's a
You
cutie.
know, she is a cutie. You know who she reminds me of though? She reminds me of Mordred.
No, you know who she
Or
reminds me of?
who?
My wife.
Your wife.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Yeah.
Who's your wife?
Her.
Who?
Satsuki.
Satsuki's your wife?
Hell yeah.
Is she
Hell yeah.
really?
That's a MILF.
Liza wants some milk.
Bro, Sui's a gilf.
She is a gilf.
Ew. Ew.
He says ill, but he's the one that he brought it up.
I know. I made a mistake. Oh, I had made a note to tell you, the eyes in the show bug me.
Why?
Especially like Ohana's. Because they have these
Why?
moments where, like, you know, she's young, she's full of wonder, so they do a very good job portraying that. But sometimes they do these shots where the eyes seem like lifeless, and I
Yeah,
swear it's
like
like
that.
fucking Higurashi, where the characters, you know, crack and they start to go on a
Do you
murderous
have a
rampage.
screenshot?
No, I don't.
I didn't notice that.
Because, you know, Crunchyroll has the thing where if you try to take a screenshot, it's just a black screen. And I couldn't
Oh
find a
yeah.
still image of it. But it's just like there were parts where like Hana would look up at that the gray heron, and like her eyes would just be like dead soulless eyes, and I'm like, she's gonna fucking kill that bird. She's gonna kill that bird and like right with its blood.
I didn't pay attention because like the anime was based off subtitles, so I tend to pay more attention to the subtitles than I do. And that's the one thing like I don't like about subs is that I don't pay attention to like the artwork and stuff.
I mean, why
So I
don't you
didn't
just
notice.
learn Japanese then?
Fucking hard.
Oh,
No,
not again.
I heard Japanese is like one of the easiest languages to learn.
Mm.
That's what I heard. That Japanese was made simplified, or was that Korean? I forgot.
Fucking nice, bro. Is that racist?
It shouldn't, because I remember it was one of the like I was watching one of those like uplifting videos where it's like they took one of the Chinese most difficult language to learn in the world and they made it easier. I forgot if it was Korean or if it was Japanese. I think it's Korean now.
I know, like, Japanese, like the language, the written language, they
Uh
have
huh.
like different ones, like katakana, hiragana, and I know some of
Yeah.
those are easier than others. But
Hmm.
I don't know about the actual language. But I'm someone who only knows one language. I think you know two, right?
I'm learning German, and I broken Spanish.
But enough to like converse, right?
Converse and understand.
Yeah, I don't know shit. Like
Why don't
absolute
you learn
zero.
another language?
Because I'm a white supremacist.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
So now we've had an episode where I claim to be a white supremacist, and we have an episode I
He's
claim
not.
to be black. We have an episode I claim to be Hispanic. What am I, guy?
What is
What
Lizer?
is Lizer? We're gonna get
We don't
somebody that's like,
know.
well, due to the way that he said this and the way he rolls his R's, I think he's actually Norwegian. Excuse me?
You're gonna get us banned.
Yeah, good. I'm gonna get us banned. This is on my Twitch. I'm gonna get me banned.
Yeah, but I'm associating with you. So that means I'm gonna get canceled just for associating with you. I don't even know how I'm gonna get canceled because I don't even have a following.
Same. We should probably get back to the anime though.
We got off rails.
Yeah.
Sorry, people.
The
But no,
the issue is that there's really not much to talk about with this anime.
yeah. The like I said, this anime is just literally about everyday life.
Yeah, like they have issues as far as like we've lost a lot of money or we have too many customers coming and we only have like 5 employees. Like that kind of
Or
thing.
they go on a school trip,
Or
or
a school festival or
one of them gets kidnapped and gets bounded,
excuse me?
bonded. One of them gets kidnapped. Remember?
No, I don't remember. What are you talking about?
It's in the second episode where Ohana gets kidnapped by the writer,
Oh,
but
oh,
she,
I'm thinking like
but
thrown in the back of a van and driven away. I'm like, what?
no, Ohana gets kidnapped by one of the people in the one of the customers that's staying at the inn, because he becomes like really fixated on her, and like he starts writing like an ecchi novel about the waitresses
She's like
in the inn.
voluntarily kidnapped. Like he kidnaps her, but then she's like, "I'll stay."
Like, I'll stay, and she's like, you tied me up wrong here. You do it this way,
Yeah,
like literally.
and then
And
reads
then
the erotic novel and gives him advice.
yeah, reads the erotic novels that like she needs to sparkle, and that becomes like a saying. Like she's like, I need to sparkle. Oh god. Like literally when that scene happened, I remember messaging Liza like, "Holy shit, I don't remember this." Like
You're like,
I
this
did.
show's a lot more perverted than I remember.
The ass grabbing, the bondage. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Looking back on it though, she actually does remind me of her mother a lot. Like just as
Well,
far as
I
the
mean,
way she thinks.
yeah, the way that she thinks too, like like even though like how her and her mom's relationship, like she is her mother's daughter.
Yeah, but she's like learned from her mother's mistakes, where her mother felt that the grandmother was too strict. She decided to be so
More free
lenient
spirited.
and free spirited that she was basically a non parent. So Hana's like a nice mix between the two, where
Hmm.
she's free spirited but knows what she needs to do.
Yeah.
Anything specific you
Like
want to bring up?
she's laid back, but at the same time, she works. She likes to earn her coin. I mean the one scene I wanted to bring up was the kidnapping slash bondage scene. And I do like the whole like her childhood friend Kochan.
Uh,
Like at first there's a miscommunication because like she doesn't know how to write to him, like after the whole confession, after she like moves to the inn. She doesn't know how to talk to him. He sends her a message, she sends him a message, and she kind of like vents to him while she's living there, and she seeks advice from him. And there's like an episode where she goes back to Tokyo to because her mom writes like a really bad review because somebody paid her to write a bad review about the inn. Like that's how much like her mom is. Like her mom like doesn't care if you're family or not, if it's money and it's work. She don't care if you're family.
yeah.
Like she'll write a nasty review about you if she gets paid. And so she goes to Tokyo to like go and get her mom to go stay at the inn, and to get her to like change the review and stuff.
She doesn't
Like
even
that
want
was
her to change the review. She doesn't want her to print a retraction or anything. She just wants her to write on a piece of paper, whether it gets published or not, her true
oh yeah,
thoughts
her
of the
true.
inn after visiting it.
Yeah. And so then while she's there, goes she finds out that Ko works at a bookstore. So she goes to the bookstore and she sees a girl talking to him, and she's noticing that she's kind of being really friendly with him. And so she tries to sneak away, but Ko ends up spotting her. And so they end up talking, and then as they're talking, she notices that girl kind of like clings onto Kochan, and like Ohana's like thinking like, this bitch moved on already. What the fuck?
This bitch.
This bitch. Anyway, so after that, like he goes and they talk, and I at this point they're like see you later. Like they come to this conclusion, I guess, that like I guess she thinks that he dumps her,
Uh-huh.
but they weren't dating. So like he says like, cuz she's like 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 till next time or something like that, and he's like, see ya, and she takes that as like, what do you mean
We
see
won't
ya?
see each other again.
Yeah, we won't see each other again.
And then she runs to his house and he's on the balcony and fireworks are going off. And oh wait, wrong anime.
Wrong anime.
Similar scene
But
though.
yeah, and so then like she goes back. I'm just touching up on the relationship Kochan, the
Yeah.
one that had more development than everybody in the
Yeah,
whole
it's so
anime.
amazing. Like the only person who has more development is probably Hana, but even then she doesn't really develop her personality much. She stays the same. She just learns
Hmm.
things.
And so then she goes back, and then it's around the time where the grandma was like, I'm gonna close the inn, and so Takako was like, I want to go to Tokyo. So to because they get the reason why she wants to go to Tokyo is because there's an episode that a director comes to make a movie, and they need to do a dump. And this is what I didn't get. Like, why did they have to pay him to make a movie at their spot?
Because they're idiots.
That like that didn't make sense to me. Like, I don't get that. And so they paid him. They gave him money. He takes off. Turns out he's a fraud, and that he does this to get his debts paid. And so she goes. So Takago wants to go to Tokyo to find that director and get the money back. And so Sui, Ohana's grandma, tells Takago to take Ohana with her so Ohana can go talk to her mom and talk about her situation. Should she like does she want her to go back to Tokyo or what? Like, what are they gonna do since the inn's closing? And so while she goes there, Kochan is working, and then Ohana's mom walks in, and she's like, "Oh, it's Kochan. We haven't seen each other for a while." And they go out and they eat, and the mom's like, and then Kochan's like super nervous because like he's not friends with her daughter no more. Like he broke up with her, air quote. And so she's talking to him, and she knows that he's nervous, and she's like, "Don't be nervous with me. Like whatever happened between you two happened between you two. Has nothing to do with us."
It is very uncomfortable to watch it, really, because
It is.
from what we know about her, like she's a man eater. She's a cougar and all that. And then like, oh,
So
you broke up with my daughter. You're single now, like that kind of thing. And then brings him
yeah.
to her office like there's nobody here. It's just us on a Sunday. And like scoots close to him and starts putting on a video. She's like that's when she's like, oh, don't worry, we're not gonna watch porn together. I'm like,
And
what the
he's like,
fuck?
and he's like, "That's a relief." And so she's like, "No, it's the video that the so-called, because her mom is uh
A
she's a
writer,
writer for, I don't know, like for like a newspaper or something.
a
So
magazine.
she has a lot of connections. And so she's like, "Oh yeah, like I got the video from the so-called director or whatever." And she's like, "And you want to see how Ohana's doing?" And so he watches it, and then he's like, because like she asks him like at the beginning, she's like, "Do you want coffee or do you want green?" Like he's like, "I don't drink coffee." And she's like, "Do you want green tea?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll have green tea." And then the mom laughs, and she's like, "Oh, you have the taste buds of an old man." And so then after that, like he watches Ohana and he like starts thinking like, like for him he thought like Ohana chose her new life over him. And seeing her work at the end, like he came to realization that that was really stupid of him to think about.
Yeah. Plus, she was talking about him in the video.
Yeah. Like some guy, the director was like, "Oh, by the way, the director gave me creepy vibes."
Oh yeah, definitely.
He gave me creeper vibes. So anyway, so then like he asks Ohana like, "Oh, did you leave your boyfriend behind or something like that?" And she's like, "Ko-chan's, I didn't leave Ko-chan behind. He's working his hardest and blah blah blah, like just as I am working my hardest." And that's when it clicks on him like, "Oh, I was stupid to think that."
Yeah.
And so then he looks at the mom. He's like, "Oh, I'll have coffee." And she's like, "I thought you didn't like coffee." And he's like, "No." He's like, "It's not that I don't like coffee." He's like, "The last time I drank coffee was with Ohana, and I wanted to savor that moment, that memory.
I wanted to remember
So
the
I,
taste of it.
yeah." So he's like, "I didn't." So he's like, that's why he stopped drinking coffee. And so after that, like he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." And literally, like he leaves the building. He's like crossing the bridge, and as he's like crossing the bridge, there's Ohana, like bum ba bum, like what perfect timing. And so then he runs to her, and it looks like she wants to like run away from him, but he gets her to stop because he's like, "Ohana, like don't, bitch, you better not run. Like stay, don't run, or I'll slice you." Anyway,
Those were his exact words.
so then so he catches up and he explains to her like he explains the situation that like I really can't remember like anything at the top of my head, but they just a lot of fucking talking, like a lot of like rambling
They basically
and
finally explain themselves, which is something no one fucking does in this show.
yeah. And so then like he wants to say something, but she's like, don't say it,
I want to be the one
like
to say it.
yeah, that she wants to be the one to say it. And so then they have a moment, and then he's like, "Aren't you like look? You're like she was supposed to go talk to her mom, but she's like, oh no, never mind." She's like, I'm
Fuck
like she
that
has her
bitch.
answers, basically. Fuck that deadbeat mom.
it
A
was it
bad
was
news.
basically like their mutual understanding that they do both like each other.
Yeah, and so then he takes her to the bus station, and she invites him to they have a festival every year, the Bumbari
Yeah, Bun
Festival,
Buddy.
and she invites him, and he agrees. And so then he goes, and like they meet up. Like she runs to him when he calls, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got here." Like she books it.
Yeah.
Like she's like, "Bye everybody." Takes off.
I know we're all busy right now, but
Takes off. And so she runs to him, and then they go to she it sounds like she's going to say like, "I like you," but she's like, "No, like I want she wants food." So they go get food. And while they're waiting, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this must be embarrassing for the food stall guy." She's like, "I, I, I, I like you."
she like yells it out.
And the guy gives them the plate, and it's like shaped as a heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, but she confesses, and yeah, the relationship's Gucci. Like they had a great relationship development.
You know how I made the joke earlier about the misunderstanding and a silent voice?
Uh huh.
Remember how in a silent voice they also randomly met on a bridge at the
Yeah.
end?
Yeah. Like yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Like this anime came out before the movie. Okay.
Yeah, it did. It was good
But
though.
no,
I enjoyed it.
like I said, I like this anime.
It's a nice slice of life anime.
Has romance, it has comedy, it has etchy scenes.
Yeah,
It even has that infamous beach episode and school festival episode.
yeah. More so the school festival. They don't spend too much time on the beach.
Yeah.
I am glad I watched it though. It was interesting. It gave me something new to watch.
I'm
I'm
just
always up to expand my catalog of anime I've watched.
I'm just surprised you watched the whole thing. Like after I told you, I thought you were just gonna stop, but you continued it.
No, when you told me, I was already done.
Really?
Yeah, I was like I had to do some stuff and then I was gonna watch the movie. I was
Oh,
already done at
well.
that point. I was like, God damn it. I mean, honestly, I probably would have finished it anyway.
Hey,
Yeah, like it's definitely not in my top 10 anime that I've watched, but it is enjoyable.
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Hey, I picked a decent one.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Now I'm excited to hear what you have in store for me.
Yeah. do you like uh do you like butts?
I cannot lie, I do like butts.
The anime we're gonna be watching next week is the butt anime Keijo.
Shut up. I'm gonna be watching the butt wrestling anime. Like
Yeah.
I never seen the anime, but I've seen like gifs on Tumblr, and all I know is I see them on like a pedestal, and they're like smacking butts against each other.
There's so many gifs about like all the funny moments, and you go into this anime thinking like, oh, it's just like fan service comedy, and then you sit down and you're watching, you're like, whoa, that's actually really good though. Like, it's actually a compelling story, and I
Um,
can never get anyone to believe me just because all they ever see is just ass.
so yeah, this is definitely something that I'm probably gonna have to watch in a room by myself with earphones.
No, it doesn't do that kind of thing where it's like, they're fighting, but they're like, ah, yeah, no, don't touch me there. It doesn't do that.
Okay, okay.
Like
All I,
they they actually wear like in the actual battles that they do, they're in swimsuits, but when they're practicing, they have like full body armor on. It's
the
like you can't
fuck?
see anything.
What the fuck?
I'll tell you, this is a really good anime. I like it a lot, and I'm glad to watch it again. And to clarify, it only has to be 5 episodes. If you go beyond, that's on you.
That's on me.
I
Wow.
have some interesting things to talk about with this anime, though.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So we will see you guys next week. This was a short podcast because
How
there was
long?
nothing to talk about.
But it was a good anime.
Yeah.
There was not much to talk about, but it was a good anime, you guys.
Yeah. But we'll see you guys next week when we watch Keijo. Watch along if you want. Be sure to follow us on uh, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube.
YouTube.
We're also on Google Play, Spotify, and iTunes if you're audio only.
Hey.
And maybe we'll both watch the movie for this week's anime. And maybe I'll upload that to YouTube as like a YouTube exclusive thing. What do you think?
Oh, that actually sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. But that's it for now. We'll discuss that later.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Night night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, or let them, I don't live your life. I don't tell you what to do.
Oh my god. Alright. Good night.
Bye.
Oyasumi, matane, whatever you want to say.
I was gonna say goodnight in Spanish, and I'm like, I forgot. Bye.